welcome back to another vlog. This one's a little bit weird in the sense that the time frames between what you're about to see next and now are massive. So this is about building, restoring a YZR 500. So my boss bought one quite a few years ago. The bike wasn't really bad, but it wasn't like nice, if that's the right terms. We rode the bike a little bit. We rode it at Scarborough and I can't remember where else, maybe on a test day or a track day. But then they come to the decision that the bike was going to get restored. So that was nearly 2 years ago and not a lot has happened since then, or a little bit. Well, you're going to find out now what's happened. We're going to skip back in time just for now while I jump out of the van, and then when I am in the workshop and start talking again, you're going to come back to now, if that makes sense. So see you in a minute. After quite a few comments on YouTube videos and stuff, I asked like some people what would they like to see more of. So this winter in particular, because obviously the racing and stuff's finished, I'm going to try and do some more restoration style vlogs, whether it be doing something up, some maintenance on different bikes and stuff. So literally I've just come to the workshop now to pick up the first thing we're going to do. I say we're going to do. Whittam's 99% got the knowledge and I've just source the bike, so it's probably more to do with James, but I'm going to try and do some on my own as well, some smaller projects that I think I could actually manage. So without further ado, here is the first machine. With looking at the pictures and stuff, it actually looks like the bike is quite finished, which it is finished. It was bought as a running bike, but basically it's just going to get completely stripped back because they don't know what the motor's done or anything like that there. So basically the motor's going to come out, everything, and there's a few bits that we don't think is right to do with like the airbox and different things, and even some of the bodywork is a different shape for different models and stuff. So obviously all that's going to come out. Shock forks will all get resurfaced, wheels will probably come out, get checked for any cracks and stuff. And I've actually rode this bike at Scarborough, and it was the bike that Taylor was due to ride at Scarborough, and he got red flagged and stuff. So I think the plan is to possibly do some racing on it as well. It wants to be left right, so for even doing parades like Goodwood or anything like that there, so it's going to be left right. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to get started. So yeah, let's see what happens. Firstly, let's try and get into the van without dropping it. So I'll get Neil to tie it in and just do the old thing of pulling it and just making sure, yeah, that's never going to go anywhere. So I might as well show you this as well. So this is a ZXR 750 that we bought to do the classic TT and stuff on, but plans have slightly changed, so we're not actually going to use it now. We're going to sell it. I'm just waiting on Neil to give me a hand to load the van. What you got there, Neil? Salad sandwich?
Salad sandwich, all trimmings.
Oh my word. No animals were harmed in the making of this sandwich. So yeah, gonna chuck the bikes in the van now, get them over. Well, one bike's going to the shop to get sold and the other bike's going to Whittam's house to get stripped.
What straps are you stealing?
You're gonna show me.
We're
just putting the front wheels tight up again.
Yeah. Where are you gonna...
Yeah, there's one there.
Oh, there's a hooky there, that's where you want it, that's one there. Next
This
to the
one?
box.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll go off the footrest hanger. Right. It's an heavy old beast, Lee. Oh. You lean it like that, you're sticking it in gear. So lean over like that. Do you want a bit more cardboard to put in between the door?
Am I gonna lean it in?
Yeah, just that. Yeah. Lay me my money down. She's a wide old beast, that'll lift over a bit more. That.
Yeah.
Where's that got in here?
Always get Neil to strap the bike in.
Carly! We've had no accidents this year.
None, yeah.
Touch wood.
Oh, that's solid.
Ah! The beast. I've watched a lot of programmes on Pattaya. Some guy does a vlog there, some old food. Get another bit of cardboard.
Tell you what, Neil and mate, just go to that side door now and feed capture.
Forks to go under your thing though, won't it?
Put a bit of duct tape on it.
Put that round the brake cage. I like that.
We're in. Don't pass remarks and all the other shit. That's for the other bike. Oh, she's still upright.
So you want that engine putting in that, right?
This is like your nemesis coming back to you, Mackenzie. Yeah. Yeah, so basically we think it's a 93, 94.
I think it probably, well, they all started 93, 94. Yeah, they all started life as 92, 93 and 94. I don't think they did much after that.
Yeah.
92 were the first year of the Rocks and the Harrises, and it started life as a Rock, didn't it?
Yeah. So you're thinking like different to this picture. The subframe's different.
But you see,
the forks are different.
We've definitely got, this is like a seat subframe unit, isn't it?
Yeah, that's like more of a modern thing, isn't it?
Completely.
Because even the shape of the seat unit's more modern. Yeah.
You might as well get it out and have a look. We might as well be getting it out and have a look. Put it on the bench and have a look.
Yeah. Because like if the other thing obviously is the airbox as well, innit? But yeah, we'll get it out and have a gander. Right, so we're in the workshop now, and like I said, you just went back in time there to see the old footage and stuff. So the current situation is with the bike. I'm going to let James explain because I know, but I don't know in detail. So he's going to explain the current situation of the bike, what steps have been taken, what steps are about to be taken, and a few parts that we can look at that have already been sourced and stuff, and then big things like the engine and stuff, what the plan with that is next. Without further ado, might do, you know what I might get? Like an old clip of you like 25 years ago and put it in.
With the voice. With my voice now. Yeah, sure.
Right, so you fire away for what? Oh, should we get that already in the background there? Just is it up for sale? No. Can be.
It's all for sale.
Right, so first.
Right, so a little bit of what would you call it? I found out that not restoring, cleaning up and tidying up a YZR Yamaha is a little bit like opening a massive tin of worms because you can't get anything. You have to source everything, there's very few spares about, engine spares are almost impossible to get, even gaskets, O-rings, etc. So I'll come to engine in a minute. The chassis had been completely polished, it was dinged, there were all sorts of bits where it had been at a gravel trap, so this is kind of the best we can do with it. I've had that.
I'll put some old clips in of what it looked like before to get a... But this is what they would have done properly.
It was a brush finish anyway, it was a fabricated finish, so you can see somebody polished all of these welds out. We can't really do a lot with that, but it's come back. The chassis's come back really nice. I think it's gonna look pretty well as that. All these they're original, all cleaned up. They're gonna look mint. Forks were a little bit of an issue in that they were completely sort of dinged. So these have been stripped, a fraction taken off regrinding and then re-anodised. These bottoms have been recoated, so they're done. The shock is kind of cleaned up as best I can. I'm just going to get you can see where little bits of stuff, little bits of gravel flicked up.
Because they never run a rear mudguard, did they?
They didn't run over. No, they didn't need to because the carbs weren't at the back. The carbs are all between the piece, so in one block. So they didn't really get any dirt in. Plus, it were a sealed airbox system on this. Everything else is looking all right. The wheels are mint, but they're going to want painting. The exhaust are completely.
Yeah, well, that's sort of how we've come to be here now. I've got some more wheels that we're going to go get out of the van in a minute and just check and see how they fit. And
the exhaust are beautiful. One of the problems with this here, which is.
Oh yeah, so
that's the original radiator. You can see it's quite a complex structure really. It's
well used would be
really well used. Completely destroyed in a little bit. You see where the front wheels hit it. But I mean it did hold water, but
yeah. that was it. So yeah, you've managed to source one. Well, in trying to, we normally go to Brad at Bora
and get one made. But I've managed to source an original rock one, which is not perfect, but it's all right.
Very good condition.
It'll do, yeah. It's in reasonable condition. What it is, that'll clean up all right. So that's very happy with that. And then really,
this is the next
thing, and the problem is.
Do you think it's the problem of parts because they changed the bike so often? Like when you speak to Howard Gregory and people like that worked on them, like every 2 or 3 meetings, the frame was changing.
In fact, they changed more than once a year. An upgrade became available. You know, it's like
Yeah.
racing. It's not like you're racing a
Yeah,
stock.
but when didn't the factory team go back to running rock chassis at one point? Even they didn't.
They tried everything with Wayne Rainey. Yeah, they like the rock. He liked the rock chassis better. Like the
imagine thinking of that nowadays. Like,
yeah, but I mean, the rock was a complete same jig, same swing arm pivot positions, geometry, weight distribution. He just preferred it for some reason. So this is next job. We need to decide what we can get spares wise and what we can't. I've made these blanking plates just to stop anything getting in the intake manifolds in case we've got a. And I've put gaskets on, so if we've got to clean it without stripping it because we can't get parts, because the engine did run pretty well, in that case I didn't want anything getting inside it. Actually, I've took one at...
So that's the next plan of the game,
the
is
engine,
to go
the engine
see
needs,
if we can go to Patrick's or...
Yeah, if we can get some parts and rebuild the engine, I'd love to do that, but even just stuff like O-rings, and if you look at this, just look...
Yeah, the different
somebody
lengths.
put nasty kind of studs on there. I could do with some new studs.
Yeah, but like we said before already, this bike was owned by Irish people.
I'm out, no comment.
He said that very quickly.
Let's say see some action anyway.
Yeah. So current situation, the chassis looks well. I think it looks amazing. So
it will look good.
We're gonna go outside and grab these new wheels that I've sourced. We don't need wheels, but we thought that if we're gonna actually use the bike and stuff, then we're better for having them than.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say is if you're gonna use the bike, really engine needs stripping.
Yeah.
If we and if we can't.
I don't mean racing as such, but even parading once.
And really, if anyone's gonna ride it, and we can get spares, I'd love to do engine. Because they're not a complicated engine.
Yeah.
They're a lovely engine. But if you can't get spares, you're knackered.
Right, let's go grab some. We're gonna go grab some wheels and then, see if they fit, and then go from there.
Ricky's going down there for.
Oh, saddles. These are not part of the build plan, or my plan at all. So yeah, I'll get this. So he sent me 2 fronts and one rear, which he said, the front looks like new as well. I don't know when they say new, they mean like coated, like what we were going to get done.
I think it's the same.
It's the same design, isn't it? You can see by the split in there.
Look, they look same. 5 stud, cush drive in there. I'd say you've got wheels that'll fit. Width-wise,
we can put that front in, and I can't.
Don't jump, is it? Yeah, we ought to be able to put that in if it's built up.
Are they?
Yeah, they're going to wheel.
Ah, but are they like they're not sided?
Good win. No?
I don't want to just start fucking.
Well, knock them in there, alright?
Thumping it, that's all.
They'll come out easy, isn't it?
Good in a pit stop being you, Jim, wouldn't it?
Well, it's just the original thing, so.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're.
It kind of screws into that.
Yeah.
So. That'll definitely work. That's it, screws last. That's it.
Yeah.
Leave it in. Not wrong with that, lad. Spaces, cock on, we look a bit. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Can we this on?
Yeah. Apparently they're like a genuine. They do look like a nice disc.
Well, we
don't
would
they?
have had carbons on in the first place. The carbons
We don't
are
want
smaller.
them for riding round.
The carbons are small, that's why they had these look.
Yeah.
See these, that's original. That looks like it's been messed about with, but it isn't.
That's the way it came.
Yeah, because the
What,
carbon,
for different sizes?
carbons are smaller.
Yeah.
Smaller diameter than steels, yeah.
Looks mint.
Beautiful, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Bobby Dazzler. And you reckon the rear?
Looks exactly the same, yeah. It might just be sometimes they're a bit different on the spacing, aren't they?
Right, so next plan of attack now pretty much is just the engine.
Yeah, I can't put anything else on until we've got the engine. Till we decide what we're doing. That'll depend on
what parts
what space we can get.
Yeah.
If we can get bearings and seals, I know pistons look good.
Yeah.
I've had a look inside it through the back of the inlet and through up the exhaust. So then I'd love to strip it, clean everything, put it back together. If we can't, we're gonna have to seal everything up in one and then clean it as it is.
Yeah, which is that's not the end of the world for sitting and looking at the bike, but if we're going to try and get it running, you would rather So basically we can't take it apart even if we're not going to do anything because we haven't got seals.
Yeah,
put it back together again.
Clyde Padgett will have everything we need to rebuild it. However, he runs one.
Yeah, so
and when these things are running out, it's like you having someone
yeah.
a spare for you don't want to give it away, do you?
Anymore, mate.
They don't make any more, so he might need them, so he's a bit careful with them, which you can understand.
Yeah. And he's from Yorkshire.
Yeah. But if we could get gaskets, bearings, seals, all that,
yeah.
I'd love to get into that. And new studs, vapour blast everything, you know what, it just goes like new. Carburetors are a thing of beauty as well. These are cars, look. Look at them.
Holy shit.
And they sit inside obviously they go there. That's where they fit. I mean, how compact is that? That's beautiful, look.
What would this have weighed? Like 120 kilos?
130 kilos what limit then.
And what with 170 horsepower?
Yeah.
That makes you think about your collarbones.
Mine's itching now.
Alright, so yeah, next plan is to have a crack. Yeah, have a crack with that. And then when that's done, realistically, the rebuild process is ready to start.
Yeah.
Bodywork's already at spray bay.
Bodywork's at spray bay. I've fitted all the fairing's been fitted, and there's some cheap pieces been made to go inside the fairing into the airbox. The carb's fit here. And it's in a box, and the air comes in the side there. So
yeah, but the original bodywork is okay, or they've had they've had to make these air boxes to suit that original.
Yeah, so it's been fitted.
So
I mean, you don't get your fairness painted until you know that you're not going to have to drill it. Done that with
yeah, haven't we all? Yeah. Right, so yeah, plan of attack is engine, and then
we build.
Then we're starting to build.
Yeah.
I say we're starting to build. I'll be here watching Jim build. With the camera, make tea, yeah. I can just about do that. Stay tuned.
It'll be a lovely thing.
Right, that is a little YZR update. So stay tuned to see what happens next. Obviously, like Jim said, the engine is the big part, so we're going to get cracked. He's going to get cracked on with that, and let's see what happens next. So thanks always for watching. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned to see what happens next. And people have got remote control cars. How cool is that? Yeah, so stay tuned, and I don't know what we're going to be up to next, but it could be more actual YZR 500 stuff, depending on if he gets his finger out or not. Hopefully.